Watermelon disc. Hey. I was just looking through this stack of old demo CDs. Not for fun, though. Quite the opposite. The shop is in debt. I don't know how much debt, but whenever I try to ask Justin, he just freezes and stares blankly into the distance until I walk away. So as a result of that, Justin has decided to cut some costs by switching all of our work software over to free alternatives. And for whatever reason, he has decided to do this by unearthing an old stockpile of Shareware discs that have been sitting in the attic for possibly longer than I've been working here. Where did he even get this? Anyway, slow read times aside, it's kind of refreshing going through all these old CDs full of free trials and demos. Back when the software world was still in its awkward tweenage phase, and getting something for free was a welcome surprise as opposed to an expectation.
Alright, I think that's the last of them. Now get to work. These losses aren't going to recoup themselves.
It's gonna be a long night. Freeware! It's software, but get this, free. What a crazy idea! Who would have thunk it? Let's start off with a little disambiguation, though. Freeware and shareware were initially interchangeable. Freeware, not to be confused with free and open source software, or even just free software, was the original term that Andrew Flugelman coined in the early 80s with the release of his program PC Talk. PC Talk was a communication software that allowed file transfers between computers over a dial-up network. While the software's functionality itself was already favorable, the element that caught the attention of most people was that it was available for free. Kind of. Flugelman started off distributing the software to whoever felt like sending him a blank floppy disk and encouraged others to share it around themselves. The only thing he asked for in return was that if the user liked the software, they could mail him a $25 donation. This methodology of free-to-use software with the option of payment would go on to become what we know today as shareware. The early days of commercial computer software were interesting, to say the least. Professional software was and still is very expensive, and companies weren't exactly eager to give away freebies, especially once they saw the exponential growth of the home computing market and its potential profits. Piracy was seen as an even more destructive force than it's viewed today. Games and software oftentimes had unwieldy copy protection schemes which, while convoluted, were still easily cracked for the most part. And look, make whatever argument you want about piracy, good, bad, somewhere in between. I'm just glad LensLock never took off. You know what? Maybe Denuvo isn't that bad. Whether companies liked it or not, their software was going to get shared somehow. Shareware sought to take advantage of this. Instead of locking users out, it invited them in. While it seemed like a pipe dream to sell your software through what was virtually a glorified honor system, it somehow actually worked. Now, obviously, this wasn't a surefire method to sell your software, and piracy didn't just disappear. But this was the start of something new and special. Shareware was an easy way to get your software circulating and possibly make some money off of it. Some pretty popular pieces of software either started off as or always have been shareware. Lots of archiving software like StuffIt and WinRAR were free programs with the option to pay. The digital audio workstation Reaper, while already available for the low price of not so much, is shareware with a generous 60-day evaluation period. Even browsers were part of the shareware world initially. The classic Netscape Navigator web browser started off that way. It didn't stay that way very long because no one paid for it, but that's besides the point. Shareware would eventually evolve to feature more advanced ways to get people to buy your product, like offering paid updates or locking pro features behind a paid product key. But at its heart, shareware was the start of a free and expansive world of independent software.
It was also the Wild West.
Oh yeah, you think a market as lucrative as free software would go untapped? Hell no! Everybody wanted a slice of the pie. And what better way to exploit this market than with something pie-shaped? That's right, the compact disc. By the mid-90s, storage technology had matured to a point where the once enthusiast-focused CD was now a part of the average Joe's home PC setup.
And with the internet being what it was at the time,
it just made more sense to get a CD full of software instead of waiting hours to download just one program online. So that's what people did. A lot. As is evident by this gargantuan online collection of shareware disks on archive.org. There are over 3,000 disks in here, and that's probably not even scratching the surface of how many of these existed. Shareware disks tapped into every possible niche that they could fit within 700 megabytes. Font collections, games, clip art collections, more games, office suites, operating systems, more games, scantily clad women, even more games! If you could fit it on a disk, someone was selling it. However, due to the nature of shareware itself, this meant that most of these disks existed in a sort of legal gray area. Mix this with the absolute oversaturation of the market, and shareware disks became more comparable to those shady 1001 game cartridges you'd get with bootleg Famiclone consoles. Now, that's not to say that all shareware disks are made up of stolen content. Some manufacturers ask for permission. Some of them. Look, all I'm saying is that I don't think Digerati Games had the correct licenses to slap Tails and Knuckles on
400 jogos todos rodam direto do CD.
But that's okay. I mean, the world of 90s and 2000s free software was a lawless wasteland, but I don't know if anyone was calling the cops over luscious lesbians. No, I will not be reviewing this one. I will, however, be reviewing this one. That's right, I have here a genuine specimen, a sealed in-box copy of over 1,000 Windows 95 programs on 2 CD-ROMs. And we're going to be taking a look at it here on this relatively period-correct ThinkPad T20. Yeah, it's running Windows ME. Why? Fuck you, that's why. Does this have like a list of programs on the box? It does not. So this is how they got away with it. Let me read the concept of shareware. This CD contains shareware and public domain software. Public domain software can be freely distributed and copied. Shareware allows you to try the software before buying. If you find any shareware program useful, you are required to register it with the author, which will entitle you to support, updates, and various other benefits. At least they tell you to do that. Other companies did not always do that. So you want to make a web page. Let's go to that one, I guess. Cannot run this program from CD. Unzip in a new folder and double-click on indexation. Oh, okay. So this is literally they just put a website on a disk. It's also shamelessly biased towards nesting. This is kind of cute. Hello, my name is Joe, and I'm going to give you a few simple lessons on how to make a web page. This is cool. I kind of want to look into this another time. I'm gonna make a list of. Oh God, EmiWeb. Sorry, information files not available. Okay, that's actually did they just like straight put like drivers on the shareware disk? This disk seems a little cobbled together. I can't lie. ARF321. What is this? Oh, well, okay. Oh my god, this is a lot of files. Religion? What do we got then? We got animals. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Camel. That's pretty cool. Finger 3.1? What is a finger client? Yeah, these are all really boring. Animated beginning typing. Yeah, sure, man. Why not? Flicks, shareware. Yeah, let's do some animated beginning typing. Oh, this is sick. JNUIDA. Oh, that's crazy. Yo, this is wild. What the banana doing? Why are they multiplying? Stop it. There's too many of you. Talking babysitter. What is talking babysitter? I don't even want to see what it is. I just want to figure out what we'll learn ourselves.
Welcome to Talking Babysitter.
I don't like this.
Try saying, hi.
Hi.
Daddy.
Nuh-uh. This is crazy. Talking keyboard.
Press the letter.
G.
G.
Overflow. Neko, what is this? My God. Run that. Oh, it's a little kitty. This is so cute. He's just a little guy. What do we got? We can make him a kitten. Oh, now he's baby mode. This one right here, I can't find it. I don't know if it's on here. I don't think it is. This sucks, man. I don't care. Now, obviously, shareware disks aren't really a thing anymore. Hell, most computers on the market don't even have disk drives anymore. So, is shareware dead? Not quite. While the days of floppies and BBSs may be long gone, free trials and software demos are still around and arguably easier to find than ever. The spectacle of having free access to a professional piece of software or collection of content kind of faded and became more of an expectation than a bonus. Companies still have limited versions of their software available online for potential customers to try if they so please. Things like clip art and fonts have their own online repositories full of free and paid options. One thing that's kind of disappeared, however, is game demos. Not that they're completely dead, they've just fallen out of fashion. Obviously, as things have moved online, there's been less of an opportunity for things like demo discs to make it into circulation, but even in the online world, the game demo seems to be a dying breed. There are very few major game companies I can think of that still release demos for new or upcoming releases. There are some exceptions, and some indie devs definitely still do it, but with things like early access and Steam's generous return policy, there's not much reason to anymore. With the current wave of pre-order culture and releasing an unfinished game for full price with the promise of fixing it later, there isn't much incentive for companies or developers to put the effort into releasing something that technically isn't making them any money. It's kind of sad. I have a certain fondness for the time where that was kind of the only way to try a game out before you committed to it. You'd maybe be lucky enough to have a friend that had the game or a store with some sort of demo display, but otherwise you'd download the demo online. Something was just special about getting the Sonic Riders PC demo off of download.com and installing it just to see it run at the same frame rate as a PowerPoint presentation. Maybe that's just me. Shareware wasn't all good though. The negatives of the market have only increased in recent years as the data industry grows. Some trial software is virtually pointless as they end up blocking off half the program's functionality until you pay for it. Like, after a certain point, you might as well just download a screenshot. Like, it would serve the same purpose. A good bit of free programs also just end up being adware. It might not cost anything, but it'll come covered in ads and trackers that companies will use to sell your data to the highest bidder. It's like that old adage goes, if you aren't paying for it, you are the product. Maybe you'll get a free toolbar or mouse cursor for your troubles though.
Keep injecting me those smileys.
Well, that last part was kind of a downer. I'll try not to end things on a sour note though. While it sucks that the prime days of shareware are behind us, it's nice to reminisce on a time before the current hellscape of software monopolies, unfinished programs, annoying tech bros, and their get-rich-quick schemes. A time where free meant free and the get-rich-quick schemes at least had character. The world of home computing was emerging and evolving with something new to find around every corner. Shareware gave a feeling of exploration, finding something new and exciting for free, or getting a taste of something that you might be able to get one day. Now, I will say that I was not alive for the peak of shareware and definitely missed out on some things. Most of my experience in the world of free software comes from the tail end of its popularity. That being said, feel free to share your fond shareware memories and experiences in the comments, and let me know if I missed anything important. And with that, I think it's time for me to head home for the
Hey
night.
Sam! Found another box. Do you feel like doing overtime tonight?
Do I have a choice?
No, you do not.